Okay, let's get started. My name is Kelly McGregor. I work at the National Renewable Energy Lab in Golden, Colorado in communications, and I'm going to be kicking off the start of this 2024 Geothermal Collegiate Competition informational webinar. So in the chat, if you'll just share where you're joining us from today and what your area of study is, if you're a student or a professor, just let us know kind of where you're calling from so we can see our geographic spread today. Like I said, some of us here on the organizer team are in Golden, Colorado, and then we've also got representatives from the Geothermal Technologies office calling in from DC. Okay, a little bit of housekeeping while y'all are putting that in the chat. This webinar is being recorded, and the recording will be made available on the HeroX platform, which you'll hear us talk a lot about today. That usually takes about a week for that turnaround to happen. So if there's others that you want to send the link to afterwards, you will look for that on HeroX. There's two options for audio that you can read on this screen, but please do remember to mute your audio device. We're planning on about 30 minutes for the formal presentation portion, and then we've got plenty of time for Q&A, at which point you can unmute or put your questions in the chat, but please do mute your device now if you're not the one presenting. As I said, you can put a question in the chat throughout the course of the presentation. We will hold those until the end, but if something comes to mind, feel free to put it in the chat right away, and then we'll kind of address it at the end. And then if you're having trouble with the webinar, you can reach out to Zoom support, which the number is available here, or you can direct message me. I will be the one providing a little bit of technical support for this webinar. So before we dive in, we want to introduce the teams. The Geothermal Collegiate Competition is administered by the National Renewable Energy Lab and funded by the U.S. Department of Energy Geothermal Technologies Office. And so these are some of the team members that make this competition run each year. So we have Elizabeth Metcalf, Andy Adams, and Corinne Tosca from the U.S. Department of Energy, the Geothermal Technologies Office. And then on the NREL side, we have Deanna Acero Allard, Stephanie Dabalos Elizondo, myself, Kelly McGregor, and Daniel Zimney Schmidt. So you'll be hearing a lot from Deanna and I today, but other team members may also join in to answer your questions. So thanks all for being here. Here's a formal slide that I need to read just about the competition authority and administration. This is when you can tune out for 10 seconds possibly and get your coffee, but this is important for us to say. So the Geothermal Collegiate Competition is organized by the U.S. Department of Energy and the National Renewable Energy Laboratory. NREL is operated by the Alliance for Sustainable Energy, LLC. Funding is provided by the DOE Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy Geothermal Technologies Office. The views expressed herein do not necessarily represent the views of DOE or the U.S. government. Great. And the competition recently joined the American-made family of prizes and competitions. The American-made family now has dozens of prizes across all sorts of technology areas. I encourage you to check out, if you go to the American-made webpage, which I'll post in the chat later, there's a variety of amazing ways to kind of fast-track the clean energy revolution through the American-made program. And so this competition joined this DOE program last year. So this is our first kind of full competition as part of American-made. And so we just like to do a little plug to let you know that there are other American-made competitions as well. All right, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Deanna, and she's going to talk about what is this competition.
Thank you, Kelly. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Diana. I'm a researcher for the National Renewable Energy Lab in NREL, also located here in Golden, Colorado. So thank you, everyone, for joining us today to this informational webinar about the Geothermal Competition, the Geothermal Collegiate Competition. And in the next slides, I'm going to provide some information, general information about the competition. But again, as Kelly mentioned, if you have any question, post it in the chat or have them after the slides so we can answer those to you. So what is the Geothermal Collegiate Competition? So with this type of competitions, we are expecting student teams that they are going to compete for a specific prize that they are going to have national recognition and cash prizes, where they are going to develop creative concepts leveraging the geothermal energy to heat and cool buildings, campuses, district, or communities. We are going to find more details in the next slides about this. Well, this specific competition has been around for more than 10 years with different topics, changing a little bit from what type of topics, what type of barriers we are trying to direct with these competitions. And students, we have seen students have some of these innovative minds of how to solve that. So we have found excellent solutions coming from these specific communities. And a great thing is that students don't need a specific geothermal experience needed in this one to participate in this competition. Next. Okay, so for this one that we are today talking is going to be the geothermal competition for the fall 2024 is our current version, and this one is going to have two tracks. One is a technical track and one is a policy track. So as I mentioned, these are going to have some cash prizes that are always good for students. I remember being a student, some extra cash is always good to have. And it is one of the benefits of participating in these competitions for first place, second, and third place. Also, this year, we are going to have a bonus prize for our standing submission for tribal and community colleges specifically. Next. Okay, so for the technical track, what is asked in this competition is to present a qualitative justification for deploying geothermal district heating and cooling, or GDHC, systems in a district of their choice. So one of the first ones or more common can be the campuses, the campus or their college or their institutions, or also the communities, buildings that they are part of the communities, school districts, or hospital campuses, or municipalities, for example. That is other type of locations that students select for this one. So in this, they develop a conceptual design of the system based on those type of community needs that are recognized by the teams. And in this, for this specific track, there are like two specific deliverables that are asked. That is, one is the geothermal resource assessment and the engineering and system design assessment. All of this information is very well put in a document that is called the rules, that actually was posted today on the HeroX page, where the document has like all the details about the information that we are providing today. Next. And for the policy track, the teams are going to present a qualitative justification for deploying this the same type of system, geothermal district heating and cooling. And in this one, it's going to be focused on the analysis of the regulatory environment, the type of financial incentives and economic assessment of that specific project. So for this one, for the policy track, deliverables are going to be specific as the permitting assessment, economic and financial incentive assessment too. They are going to have specific details about financial, economics, workforce development in terms of the policy for a system that they are evaluating. Next. Okay, so what is the timeline? And this is very important to know for marking in your calendars important dates to have in mind. So today is July 23rd when we are providing the informational webinar. And as I mentioned, the rules document also was posted today. In August 12th, the competition officially opens. That it means that teams that are already formed, you can go to the HeroX page, and we are going to explain this process. And the register begins for the teams. That is going to be in August 12th. In September, we are going to have another webinar that it will be another opportunity for the teams and potential students, faculty, general audience, maybe to get this information, but also to ask additional questions. In September 16, there is the registration deadline for the teams for if they would like to have a mentor assigned by the program by us. This is something that we had been doing. We have connections with mentors that are going to help and help the teams and be mentors during the competition. We have found that program is excellent, and we are going to talk in a little more detail about that. But if the teams would like to have an assigned mentor, they will have to register by or before September 16. In October 7 is the final registration for all teams. So by that day, teams have to be registered, fill the registration form, and is how the full process is going to be to register and to compete in the actual competition. And we have another dates in October 28, a progress submission deadline that I will explain what is that. One very important, December 20. December 20 is when the final submission deadline will happen. So by that day, the teams will have to submit all the deliverables to be able to compete for the prizes. And around February is where we will announce the winners. And prior next year, July 2025, the first place teams are going to conduct the stakeholder event. That, again, I will give a little more details about this, but that is a requirement for the first place teams, the winners on this competition. Next. Okay, so this is a question that we always have from the students, right? Like, why I should participate in this type of competitions? So it's an excellent way for students to have hands-on experience in general in renewable energy industry. The Geothermal Competition, Collegiate Competition, is part of a big family of other student competition for renewable energy that had been sponsored by the Department of Energy. It's great for students to have this experience in their resumes. Also, through the mentoring program, for example, is an excellent way to engage with industry mentors to see how the industry will look, how it will look like this type of workforce for their careers. So it's really nice to know that when you are a student, or to see where you can put yourself in the future for this type of workforce. Another thing is that as students, you can collaborate with another students with different experiences, with different major, minors that they have from different levels, undergraduate and graduate. And these type of teams are always very valuable when you can help each other and really participate as a team and bring a solution together. So teams, they can have students from multiple institutions. So this type of collaboration also we have found is excellent for the students. And community and tribal college are always encouraged to participate in this competition. And as I mentioned in this one, we are going to have a bonus prize for this type of institutions to participate. Another is engage with the community. This is one that I really like because from previous competitions, we have had students telling us how they enjoy knowing, for example, the energy demand that their campuses have, that they didn't know that before, or they didn't know what was the scale of that, and knowing that those type of things through these projects kind of open their eyes of what energy really means for their campuses or for their communities building. So engage with all the community is also part of this. And well, they are promoted nationally in the Department of Energy, from the Department of Energy and us and REL. And one of the best part, the cash prizes are always good to have on this type of competition. So it's for all these reasons that students should participate in this type of competitions. Next. Okay, so I mentioned the mentor program. So remember, for the teams to have an assigned mentor, please register before September 16th. So from August 12th to September 16th, they will have the time to register the teams to be paired with an industry mentor. We have found great benefits about this program, not only for the students, but really for the mentors, that is connecting these teams with a specific resource that are already related with the industry, that they have experience. The mentors will provide feedback on the deliverables draft, for example, so it helps them to manage and navigate in the process of creating these deliverables. Also, they will share the experience that they already have with the renewable energy industry. So this mentor program is excellent to create these relationships between students and mentors. And we have seen how that move in a good way for not only for the students, but also for the mentors to have the new generations of renewable energy minds coming to our industry. So is definitely great. So remember, by September 16th to register if your team is interested to pair with them, to be paired with a mentor. Next. Okay. So by October 28th, these teams, they had been registered and they are in the competition. We have an optional, this is optional only, a progress submission. So a progress submission is that the teams, they are going to submit a subset of the deliverables. And that include the list that is here, the site identification, the stakeholder engagement strategy, and if the team is in the technical track, the geothermal resource assessment, or if the team is in the policy track, the permitting assessment. So these deliverables are going to be through an internal evaluation from us, and the teams will receive a feedback. So it's an excellent opportunity to see how is your project going, how is your project stand for the final deliverables. So again, it's optional, but we have found it's an excellent way also for the student teams to see where they are in terms of the project and the feedback. Next. Okay, and the final submission, that is not optional, that is for everyone, all the teams that are going to participate, that is in December 20th. And this is the whole package of deliverables. Again, all of this information is very well detailed and described in the rules document. And it say exactly what each one of these deliverables should have, a number of pages, very detailed about how it should be delivered, the final deliverable package, what it should be included. To be eligible to compete, all the deliverables have to be complete and follow the rules document at this point. Next. Yeah, so what are the, here a list of the key requirements. So the teams should have at least 3 students. They can have more than that, but a minimum of 3 students. The students have to be enrolled in the institution during the fall semester. The team should complete the team registration form by October 7th. And submit the final competition deliverables by December 20th. This is what the teams will have to do to be able to participate, be reviewed, and possibly be the winning team on this competition. So there is a list of for the final ones. It's about like 12 pages of the submission documents. Again, all of this is very well explained in the rules document. A 10-slide PowerPoint presentation describing the stakeholder engagement process, and a single project summary slide, and a presentation video that also this year will have a honorable mention of the best presentation video that we will have. And as I mentioned, the first place teams must be available to host the stakeholder engagement event that they are going to propose as part of the deliverables before July 2025. And next, going in a little more detail about this, what this event means, the stakeholder engagement event. So the first place teams will hold an in-person stakeholder engagement event with the relevant stakeholders that they already identified during the project. This event should be done before July 2025 and should be held at or near the selected site. So if it's in the campus, if it's in the community, we are expecting that it's going to be in the selected site. And the university of the team captains will receive a $9,000 university support cash prize to assist with the planning and the holding for this event. So this is part of the whole prize of the competition, and it will be only for the first place winners. Next. Okay, let's talk about eligibility, how you are eligible. So again, teams must have at least 3 participant students. All the students must be enrolled in the collegiate institution. The collegiate institution is defined as any post-secondary institution, as we mentioned here. And the collegiate students at any level are eligible to compete, undergraduate, graduate, any level of post-secondary institutions. Next. So the teams with multiple universities are allowed. So for example, university and rel A, university and rel B, they can come together with students, and that can be a team. Multiple teams from a single academic institution may participate. However, a student is only eligible to be member of a single team. So student A has participated only in team A. Student A cannot participate in multiple teams. The team captain and the account holder for the HeroX must be a US citizen or a permanent resident, and this is for payment reasons in the event that the team will be the winner. Teams representing no US-based collegiate institutions, for this, it's required that the team captain and all the team members must be US citizens. So it's an overseas institution that would like to participate. The captain and the team members must be US citizens. Well, all the teams are encouraged, but is not required to have a faculty advisor. Something that we have seen through these years of the collegiate competition is that faculties are an excellent resource for the teams. Also, to have the faculty that is a specific resource and support the team, we have found that is very beneficial for the team. So again, it's not required, but it's encouraged for the students to have a faculty advisor. Multidisciplinary teams are very encouraged, as I mentioned before. When you have like different experiences or backgrounds, is definitely the solutions come with high creativity and innovation. And well, member of the review panels, competition administrator as the NREL, DOE, or National Labs employer cannot participate in this competition. Next. Okay, so this is one question that sometimes we receive, like, what is the estimated time committed for this? And it varies, but what we have found is that it's recommended for the teams to have a constant communication, at least once a week, to review the progress or how the deliverables are coming up. Some additional time it will be probably required for the teams to interact with the mentors, right? Like, is this a specific time to talk with the mentors, to have like some reviewed documentations, to have questions. So we are we came with something from 2 to 8 hours per week between October and December. This, of course, is going to depend on the number of teams, but it's a reasonable estimation of the time that student teams can put on this project during these months. Next. Okay, so what you should do now if you are interested to participate or even just to get information about the competition. So first, you should go to the herox.com. I think that the link has been posted in the chat. And if you have not, you create an account. Create an account, look for the Geothermal Competition 2024. And for now, just click follow the challenge. This is going to give you notifications about updates, resources, anything that is going with this competition. By October 12th, you have the ability to register you and your team. And in this way, will be solve the challenge. It's going to appear in this button and fill the registration form. When you fill the registration form and submit it, is how your team is going to be officially competing on the competition. So follow the challenge, create an account in HeroX if you have not, follow the challenge, and after October 12th, you can register you and your team. Before September 16, if you would like to have a mentor sign, and definitely before October 7, if you would like to participate. Next. Okay, so this is a little bit kind of step by step. First thing, go after this webinar, please go and read the competition rules. Again, it's a document that it has like all the details about the competition. Start talking with your friends, classmates about this competition and gather them. There are going to be 3 or more for the team. And remember, the team captain must be US citizen or permanent residents. Registering HeroX, and after August 12th, submit the registration form. Then optionally submit the progress submission by October 28th if you would like, but definitely the final submission by December 20 to be able to compete for these cash prizes. Next. Okay, so this is a Geothermal Collegiate Competition, so we'll have to go very quick on basics. What is geothermal? Many of you might be very familiar with this, but is when we are talking about the energy, the heat from the earth. It's a renewable energy source that is found under the surface of the earth. Next. It's an energy that is very versatile, and we can see that for power generation, for heating and cooling, and different type of solutions. It's renewable, reliable, and it's clean. It's considered part of the renewable energies set. Next. For this specific competition, what we are asking is the use of the geothermal energy as heat for geothermal district heating and cooling systems. So this is what we are requiring here for the technical and the policy tracks to teams to see and for these specific applications, heating and cooling in a district systems. Next. So the site selection, it should be in the United States, on the US territory. Again, as I mentioned before, is usually the campuses are kind of like the first option because they have like information from there, but it's not limited. It can be other tribal lands, municipality, other type of community buildings. And it is part of the project to identify the stakeholders, like because the stakeholder engagement is part of the deliverables for these type projects. Next. So the good thing about these competitions is that the students are going to really work with real world parameters when they are designing the concepts, and the data that, well, they're designing is real data. So the input from the community, it really serves as the considerations, the needs, but also the constraints of the project. And here is where I say is an specific experience that the students are going to have of real world problems to solve. And the concept that the teams develop will provide insight for the community stakeholders and for future development in heating and cooling, specifically geothermal resources. Next. And for the policy track, again, this is going to be about like a review of the regulations, local permits, approvals for the campus of the community site that they have selected. It's going to have also itemized costs for the systems, design, construction, and maintenance, financial incentives that are available in a specific jurisdiction. And it's going to contain also detailed analysis of workforce, economic benefits, and opportunities for the community. That is important, is part of the projects of the clean energy projects. Next. Okay, so in the rules document, we have a very good list of educational resources. Next. I think that these resources are going to be related with videos, videos that are part of learning, the Learning Enroll page, but also tools or reports, or for example, the geothermal data repository. So the links of these educational resources are very complete in the Appendix A and B of the rules. And also, we are going to have that in the HeroX page. So feel free to review these educational resources, are a very good start point to see what is available there that is going to help the project and the concepts that you're going to develop. Next. Okay, I think that I will pass this to Kelly.
Yes, thanks, Deanna. That was great. This kind of concludes the formal slides portion, and I'm already seeing some great questions in the chat, but we did just want to end on kind of a reminder of, if you're interested in this competition and you're wondering where do I start in the next few weeks, this is kind of the step-by-step of what to do. So really follow this competition on HeroX. The link is on the slide, and I also put it in the chat. That's the most important thing, because HeroX is where we put all of our updates, all of the resources Deanna was mentioning. That's kind of critical. Even if you're just a little bit curious, you think maybe I'll do it, I need to think about it in October, just hit that follow button, because that's how you'll get updates from us, and you'll be able to ask questions really easily. So that's in the top right of the slide. And then, yeah, start talking with your friends, with your colleagues. As Deanna said, I think the great part about this competition is it can be anybody from any school. So you can do this all remotely. So if you have friends that are in schools across the country, you guys could form a team together, which is, I think, pretty unique and great. There's no in-person component unless you are the first place winner and have to do the stakeholder event. So yeah, start chatting with people. We also try to design this competition to really easily integrate into collegiate classes. So if you are a professor or know a professor and is looking for something for their fall semester courses, we try to do the timeline so that it falls 100% within the fall semester. Deliverables are due in December. So it can kind of be a nice addition. And we've seen entire classrooms do it, where we've had 5 teams from one school, because it's a full classroom that's broken into smaller groups. So think about, finding a faculty advisor if you're interested in that. And that's kind of what folks tend to do at this part of end of summer, early fall, is start getting those conversations going. And then you've got to register. I know we've heard this date a few times, but October 7th is that key date. If it's past then, you won't be able to participate in the competition. And then you also had that September 16th date if you wanted a mentor. Read the rules. Those are also linked in the chat and they're available in the resources tab on that same HeroX page. We've tried to do our best to cover the rules in this webinar today, but there's 34 pages of rules. And so we can't get through all of that in an hour. So really read the rules because they go into greater detail about a lot of the specifics and especially the deliverables and what you'll have to do for each step of the way and what we're looking for. And then learn using the resources provided in the rules. As Deanna mentioned, the appendices are a great trove of resources. So you can start kind of clicking around in those, learning a little bit about geothermal. And then you can design your solution. So that first optional deadline is the end of October. And we have seen teams that don't do that optional deadline and they do more of their work in November and December. So we also try to be flexible to whatever works for your schedule. So those are the ends of our slides. I just wanted to call attention to the email address that's on this slide. This will directly reach our team here at NREL. So reach a real person. If you are going through the rules and you've got questions, email geo.competition@nrel.gov, and I'll put that in the chat in a second. And yeah, we'll absolutely get back to you about if there's something in the rules that's not clear or if you have a unique situation. That's easiest to do. Oh, thank you, Deanna. She put that in the chat. That's the easiest way to find out an answer to your question. So with that being said, I think we've got 3 questions in the chat. I'll read them out loud for the sake of the recording. And then maybe Deanna, I'll kick them to you. So I think the first question is, what is the difference in the role between a faculty advisor and a mentor? And can they be the same person?
Okay. So there is the faculty advisor, again, is not required, neither the mentor. Faculty advisor, we have found that teams, they have already one, because as Kelly mentioned, some faculties can use this competition as part of the programs for the fall. So it will be like the resource in the university to go and ask questions. The mentor, so there are like 2 ways. If the teams are going to be interested for us, the administrative team, to assign a mentor, so they should register by September 16, and we have a list of mentors that they are ready and happy to help these teams, and we will assign them to the teams. However, teams also, if they have already a mentor, somebody in the industry that can help them, that they know already, also they can do that by their, in their side. They don't have to do that directly with us. The mentor usually has like more an industry experience or expertise that can help with that, or also academic. So the roles are kind of similar and overlapping, but yes, but if the teams could like that for us to assign the mentor, so it's how in the process should be, and register before September 16.
Great. Hopefully that answered the
Yeah.
question. You can respond out loud or add to the chat if you have additional questions on that. The next question was, is there a limit for members to create the team? So this might be asking about if there's like an upper limit, or it might be asking about HeroX itself and if like one person needs to register. So maybe we could answer those
Let's
both.
go for both, right? Like so as I mentioned, minimum three students. That should be the team. And upper limit, I don't think that we really have one. We have seen teams of about 5 or 6. Also think that it has to be manageable for the type of project that you have. So yes, I will say 6 is what we have seen and is recommended. And if it's about the HeroX, the question, so the team members should be in the HeroX, be part, but the captain, so the person that is going to be defined as the captain is going to be the one registering and do all the process in behalf of the whole team. If maybe that is a clarification also there.
Yep. And I just add, anyone can make an account on HeroX. So everybody on your team can make an account. It's just the specific registration form that will open in August. And when you submit your deliverables, for instance, like your team captain will submit it, so you're not submitting it 5 times, but everyone's welcome to hit follow and create an account. Okay. Damien asked, what kind of feedback can we expect from the optional progress submission?
Yeah. So that will be general about like what is required for these deliverables, for example, for the site selection. So the feedback that you will receive is maybe something that you are missing, some type of resources that maybe you should be using there, something that you had been identified very, very good in the site selection. So we will highlight that. And yes, it will feel like it will be like a feedback for that progress document to be a final deliverable. How what you will need to go from the progress, what you have here partial to be a final deliverable. So it will be that type of feedback.
Yeah, I think we've heard from people, it really is about just if you want to know if you're on the right track, if you kind of want assurance of like, we're going about this the right way, because sometimes, if people don't read the rules closely and then they just submit the final deliverable, they could be, ineligible because they've forgotten a whole chunk of it or things like that. So that's why we added the progress submission a few years ago, so that you can kind of get some tips and assurance that you're on the right track. Okay, I think those are all of our questions in the chat. If anyone has additional questions, add them in the chat, or you're welcome to come off mute. Wait just a few seconds.
Maybe while we wait for more questions, also I'd like to add something, and hopefully we can find the link. So as I mentioned, we have already a list of mentors to be assigned, and again they are very, very happy and ready to work with all the teams. If you would like to be a mentor for this competition, so we have a form link that I will try to find and put in the chat, if you would like to be a mentor specifically for this competition. Let me try to find that quickly.
Yeah, I've got it. I can put it in the chat.
Thank you. Maybe a great opportunity also to promote the Geothermal Technology Office for the Department of Energy has an excellent newsletter called The Drill Down, and also is where we have this type of information. So if you haven't heard about that, please go to GTO and sign for the Drill Down. It's an excellent way to get information not only about the competition, but other opportunities and things that happen for the Geothermal Technology Office.
Great. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions, so I think that we can wrap up. I just wanted to open it up to the NREL or DOE team in case there's anything we've forgotten that you feel like people should know in this informational webinar. Any kind of final pieces of information that we want to make sure are recorded for the recorded version that'll be on HeroX over the next few months.
I think I want to encourage everyone to spread the word about the competition. It's an excellent opportunity to, again, hands-on on examples to create these teams. I know these forums say a lot of things about how happy the teams work together, but also it's an excellent opportunity to know more about the technologies, to know more how the applications of the geothermal are, and also a path for probably, workforce. We have already in NREL participants, alumni that they participate in this type of competition in previous years, for example. So please participate, spread the word. And if you have questions, remember there is an email, the geo.competition@nrel.gov, if you have specific questions after this webinar.
Thanks so much. Well, we will conclude there. The organizers will stay on just a few more minutes in case you have questions, but we will stop sharing our slides. And thank you all for your time today.